Hey there, Cancer, and welcome back to Bonneco Tarot. I am so happy to be here again. I am ready. I am going with the changes, and I am here for my friends who are going through all sorts of rough times because the astrology is really, really kicking some of us. And unfortunately, Cancer, you're one of those people. So I'm going to be super gentle with you in this reading to help you understand a lot of the changes and the energies that are going to be playing with you for the month of February. So if you haven't already, I highly suggest that you take a look at my Global Village for February, Global Village report for February. And the link is right here, I believe. And so when you take a look at that, it's going to give you a better idea as to, how not alone you actually are and how many signs are dealing with similar dynamics, just playing it out in different dramas. Okay? So the activity that's going on for you is in the heaviest houses. You've got, I would say that really the energies of the 8th house overshadowing everything in its relationship to everything else in your chart is going to play a big role. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the stellium that's happening in Aquarius. I kind of call that a planet party. So there's a whole mess of planets and the moon and the sun, and everybody is in Aquarius. So many astrologers, as I've said in the other report, believe that this is the threshold between the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest that they're pretty right. That if it isn't the gate, then it is definitely an important gate that's leading us to that particular time. So in Aquarius, for Cancer, that's in your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of intimacy, death, and taxes. It's ruled by Scorpio, so it's a transformative house. It's very intimate. It's very private as well, and stirs up a lot of emotions around death, around like big time changes that are going on internally and externally. So with Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, which is the next aspect, so everything's in Aquarius, so why not Mercury? But Mercury is retrograde through this time. So the entire month is going to be Mercury retrograde except for the last 8 days. And it might as well be anyways. Don't do anything. Don't start anything new until March. And you should be all right. So internal, emotional, soul searching, learning the strength in vulnerability, learning how strong you are, even in the dark night, because the dark night, the great thing about the dark night is that it promises a rebirth when the sun comes back. And so you're going to be leaving behind a significant amount of emotional baggage. That no longer defines the person that you're becoming. And if I remember a lot of the Cancer reports I've done over this past year, that I believe last summer you may have been going through a set of circumstances where you had just discovered or you were just recovering from a significant betrayal. And so it's kind of like, that stuff and the emotions around that, if you haven't let go of them, if you haven't fully processed whatever happened over the summer for you, you're going to be forced to do it now. So now we're going to take a look at Saturn square Uranus, and that's happening February 17th. But as you'll see in the global report, it happens another 2 times this year. I can't remember the second one, but the third one is Christmas Eve. So This one is 8th house square your 11th house. So the intimacy, death, and taxes versus the house of community and friendships. So what's likely to occur is that your associations with some friend groups are going to actually end. And, or maybe they already have ended and, you know, you're still kind of dealing with the process of that. Generally, the other thing that we have going on with Uranus is that Mars and Uranus are in Taurus. So this is where the tension around your community, your circle of friends, is going to make itself apparent. So with Mars in the mix, you could find yourself in confrontations, and you could be changing associations altogether. You know, it could be the end of the line, you know, a final boundary that you may mark with a friend. So let's look at here. So the moon cycles are actually going to be a bit of a relief. So I'm going to hop back a little bit. I figured I'd give you the tough news first. So just before things get sticky, we've got the new moon in Aquarius on February the 11th. And so for you, it may not necessarily be all that light for the new moon in Aquarius. Because this will likely be the kind of thing where it challenges how vulnerable you can be in your relationships. And Cancer, as much as you're a water sign and you're nurturing and, you know, and emotional, there are very few people in your world who actually get to see how vulnerable you are. And you may have to stretch a little beyond your comfort zone in some friend or intimate relationship that you have. After all the sticky stuff, then we have a full moon in Virgo, and this is going to be falling in your 3rd house of communication. So it's going to be like this kind of feeling. Speaking my truth allows me to be my true self. My mistakes have given me the experience of being human. Authenticity is my strength. So this is what you're going to be working through in the beginning parts of February, and then towards the end, as you know, different fated events occur that none of us have any idea about, and everybody around you is also going to be going through a similar process. So it's also important for you to remember that, so that you don't feel, you know, kind of like you're standing out in front of everybody and everybody's paying attention. Trust me, nobody's looking because everybody's in their own stuff, you know? So yeah, so Cancer, that's the astrology for you. Let's pull out the cards and see what they have to say for Cancer for the month of February. So what do we have for Cancer for the month of February? Well, we have our first card, and look at that. I love it. It's the 6 of Swords. So you're recovering. You're moving from that choppy emotional baggage crap and leaving it behind, but you're not doing it alone. You actually have support, you know? So oh yeah, but your obstacle is there's something either justice hasn't necessarily been served just yet, or you could have a Libra that's standing in your way somehow. You also could have some legal issues going on, like let's say you had some sort of betrayal in your relationship in the summer, it ended the relationship, and now you're dealing with divorce and separation. So that's the kind of thing that you may be dealing with, but you're moving forward. That's you, Cancer. Chariot card, it represents Cancer. It also represents moving forward with purpose, you know, and who's better than Cancer at doing that? Once you've got your mind made up, you're a great leader. You're a cardinal sign. You can't forget that. and you're ready. In the past, we had the Knight of Pentacles, so maybe you weren't so ready, but you're going to be ready now. And all of these energies that are going to be moving with you, they're your friends. Even though it may not feel that way when it's happening, these energies are pushing you toward actually becoming sovereign and claiming your right to joy, baby. So look at this. You've got the Queen of Wands. So she's at the top of your reading. So you could have a Sagittarius somewhere in your world. You got the Knight of Swords in the short-term outcome. So confrontations that may ensue. You are working it. You're doing the work, Cancer. Look at you. You could be, in a really good rhythm with whatever your day-to-day gig is. You could really be moving and shaking along. No time for nonsense, right? And so in your environment, you've got the Fool. So you could have an Aries around you. You could just have somebody around you who's kind of refreshing. They've got a different perspective. They're showing you a different way to look at the past. And there's someone who's teaching you about, like, loyalty. Your hopes and fears is for possible connection with a soulmate, either someone you know or someone that you just want who is suited for you. And look at that. You got success. So Cancer, even though, you're going to be forced to look within in ways that don't always make you comfortable. Yeah, you definitely could have a Sagittarius somewhere in your world that's bringing you peace, that's helping you recognize that you have more control over your emotions than you realize. What else is going on there? Yeah, you may hear from one. Could be a lover from the past. Let's pull out the other cards and get some clarification. Looking good. It looks as though, whatever confrontation you've got coming up, again, it's not going to be that bad. And all of these things are going to catalyze exactly, what you've been working so hard to purge over this past year. Truth, man. You are in your truth. And, yeah, and this is exactly what's going to take you where you need to be. You got lots of hope for the future. You could have an Aquarius somewhere around you. Let's take a look at what this Justice card is all about. Yeah, if you've got some sort of a legal situation going on, it's definitely in a pause, likely because of the circumstances that we have on the planet right now. And that could be a bit frustrating for you. Perhaps even, is it possible that, you're ready for a new relationship? And the divorce papers aren't final from the last one? Could it be something like that? Yeah. But you're likely to get a message. There's definitely communications that are coming in. Because you're manifesting, and anything that you've been trying to make happen over this past year, yeah, it's like you're ready to announce exactly what you've been, working on. Ooh. Okay, so in the past, we've got the Queen of Cups and the Six of Cups. So, look at this. So there is somebody from your past, could be another water sign, or it could be an earth sign. And, you know, you could be kind of caught up in nostalgia about it. And maybe that's kind of the deal. You know, maybe, you know, your previous relationships were with water signs, um, or with an earth sign, but now it's all fire. You know, I see Sagittarius on the future side of everything. I see Sagittarius, I see Aries, I see Leo. So it's like previous patterns with, you know, the sort of water and earth combo, gone. You got fire. You got fire. And, you know, the chariot. Yeah, you're serious, you know, about leaving the old behind. No more of that. Look at that. You've got the King of Swords on top of the Queen of Wands. So there's clarity. There's, that could be an Aquarius or another air sign, Libra, Gemini. But it's clarity. And this could be the clarity that's coming from the fire signs. You know, there could be a Sag that's bringing clarity to your awareness on a lot of things. And so if this confrontation happens as a result of somebody who couldn't make a decision about something, you know, there's been purpose in it, because this waiting, this waiting, this waiting is bringing you enlightenment. You know, it's kind of like you have to wait until this confrontation occurs and shifts it in the new direction. And then you can get to work. So, yeah. But you got to be careful, Cancer. Are you working too much? Are you taking on more responsibility than is yours? I seem to remember in one of the last readings that I did for you, that you needed to embrace the idea of delegating. Do you remember that? I think I'm pretty sure I said that Cancer's got to learn to delegate. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I did say that. So, you know, so that it frees you up. So, this Fool could be a Taurus, or, you know, this Aries is bringing you to a higher place spiritually, or whoever this Pied Piper is that's teaching you about the value of loyalty and all of that kind of stuff. So, so yeah, and this could be someone that you're making a significant commitment to. All right. So, So the soulmate also, you know, could be about a Leo. It could be your desire to return to a state of strength within your partnerships, you know, to have a partnership that makes you feel stronger rather than depletes you or robs you of energy. Yeah, you're going to be successful about making some serious plans for yourself for the future. So, you know, if you've got to change friends, if you got to have a confrontation with somebody in order to move the energy, don't be afraid of that, you know, because success is what this is all pointing you towards. It's, you know, it's just a little confrontation. You know, who knows? Maybe it's you who's going to do the confronting. You know, you could be loaded for bear in your chariot and you come barreling at somebody, you know. So, you know, this could manifest in a lot of different ways. All right. So I'm going to do one more clarification card on that 6 of Wands. Yeah. It's a time to be authentic. It's a time to show respect and for humility, because, you know, you will have probably been worried and worried and worried about your success, and you have no idea. You have no idea how successful you're going to be. So as long as you approach it with humility, you're going to be supported by your friends, you know, rather than them taking shots at you. So, yeah, because I think you may be a little confused right now. You may not know who your friends are, but you will. All right, so let's take a look at the Oracle of E. Lighten things up around here, right? All right. Ooh, yeah, somebody's talking smack. Yeah, you know, let's pull another couple of cards there. Yeah, and you're going to set it right side up. It's what you're going to do. And the result is going to be free falling, whatever that means to you. But it's a 50, so it's a 5, so things are going to shift. Yeah. And the gentle reminder, which actually came out of the global reading, is pick up after yourself. So, you know, if you do have to make a confrontation about somebody who is talking smack about you, put things right side up, make sure that you have also not been talking smack. Because that might be the only thing that throws it off for you, is if you can't own your part in it. You know, because for every action there is a reaction, and for anything that happens to us that makes us uncomfortable, we've also had some part in manifesting. I love what just popped out for you. Okay, so this is my Marshall McLuhan deck, which I've been going on about. Marshall McLuhan, I find, is an excellent antidote for a lot of the ways that most human beings are way too hard on themselves. So if you haven't heard of him, please check him out. He was a Canadian thinker. That's as much as I'm going to try and pigeonhole him. But he was with us on the planet until 1979, and that's when he left. But he left behind a wealth of knowledge that we can only understand now. So I'll be integrating him a lot more into the work that I'm doing here at Bon Echo. And so to bring him into the conversation, I'm using his Distant Early Warning card deck, which is just like any other playing card deck, only he's thrown in some of his thoughts, I guess you could say. A lot of them are pretty obtuse. So I'm not going to do so much to interpret them. I'm going to leave it up to you to figure out how it resonates with you. So this is your card for the energy of your universal experience. Should old Aquinas be forgot? So I leave that right there. And the advice from your superconscious, which is a new term that I think my friend Karen introduced me to with regards to hypnosis. So I'm thinking that I'm doing this. So this is the advice from your superconscious to deal with your external circumstance. All right, this is tiny, but I'm going to get it in here. It is better to have loved and lost than never to have lost at all. 2 hearts. Just saying. All right. Cancer, thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you found this reading insightful. Please feel free to come back to it. It's a lot to take in one sitting. I realize that. But it may provide you with references through the month. I do have extended readings available on my Patreon site. The link is down below. For a small subscription fee, you get access to your extended reading and the extended readings for all the other signs. So I'm also going to be adding more material as I go. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff that's coming up. And so I have put right at the end of this video, I've done a preview for both the relationship and the career section. And so you can make your decision if you want to proceed further. After my little previews for the extended readings, I have a promo for a new show that I'm going to be bringing to you here on my channel on a weekly basis is my intention. So I'm calling it Boneco and Friends, and basically we just kind of have nerdy conversations about all sorts of different things with regards to philosophy, the brain, holistic health, media, etc., etc. So I'm just getting started with this, but I'm very excited about it. So please take a look and stay tuned, and thanks for joining me again. I'm kind of looking at this, and the feeling I'm getting is that it's like, I don't know, they're just so unconscious. They're kind of like scattered. And it's like, and they know there's a bad guy. Yeah, it's like you feel like you've made a mistake with this one. They've kind of gotten used to being the bad guy, that they're just bad, and so they don't know any better. They've never tried to even be better because somebody told them that they were bad. And they've believed it as truth ever since. For you, you actually might be manifesting your own fears around commitment with this partnership. Proving to yourself that it isn't safe. Oh, yeah, you could be kind of using each other to work out your emotional things. Again, it's like if there are trauma bonds right now, they're being blown up everywhere. Yeah, this is just, it's like is la 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 la. Your partner is like totally in the clouds. Oh, it's just like, oh, what? Oh, but you see, and here's the thing, it's like, this could also be like in progress right now. And it's like, maybe because you love the company, you did or said something that was the key to understanding where loyalty and healing within the company truly was going to lie. And then that made it even clearer to figure out who the snake was that had to be cut out. So it's like, maybe there's been somebody nasty who stirs up drama at work all the time. But nobody's been able to, prove anything. And then something happened.
Uncle Bob, Robert Anton Wilson, a contemporary to Timothy Leary.
Marshall's like, amen, sister. Amen.
Right?